At the start of 2022, I was curious to discover my heritage. I found out that my biological grandfather was a guy from Sweden, and I was keen to find out more. I messaged countless of people on Facebook in the county where he grew up in and found a Swedish family related to my grandfather. 20 months later, I hopped on the flight to Gothenburg to meet my long-lost family. Good morning. The day has finally come. I am heading to a train station to go to a city called Jönköping to meet my long-lost family. I don't really know how I'm feeling right now. This has been over a year in the making. I only found out early last year that I had family here. But we connected on Facebook. I booked these flights about a year ago. And the day is finally here. As I said, I'm nervous but excited at the same time. And I'm excited to go to the place where my granddad grew up, where he worked, where my nan came and visited when they got married. It's going to be a good one, hopefully. So we're at the train station now, and can't believe this day is here. When I gathered up as much information as I could, I mean, I was pretty convinced anyway, because the image of him I've got and the image of my dad are literally identical. And then I gathered up all like the information I could find. This family that we're going to see today has photos of my nan from the 60s, which is just insane. Like, just a random family that just chancing that I messaged them and see if they knew anything about my granddad. Unfortunately, my granddad passed away in 1974. He lost his life, which is a shame, because there was no mention of death or anything like that. So there was a little part of me was hoping he was still alive. But it's still cool that I've got family here and that we're going to see him today. But yeah, once I got all the information, I'd done a DNA test, and it actually came back as 1% Irish and 16% Swedish. And that was pretty conclusive to me that this Swedish guy was my biological grandfather. So yeah, it was all very overwhelming, but we found out in the end. So yeah, we're going to go, as I said, we're going to go explore his hometown, where he grew up, where he worked. I'm going to go to the cemetery, although my granddad's name isn't in the cemetery, but his parents are, my great-grandparents. So we're going to go there and pay respects there as well. So yeah, I'm going to go board the train now and head to... They'll correct me later, but I'm just going to call it Jönköping for the time being. So yeah, let's go. So I think I'm on the right train. I asked someone and he said it is, so fingers crossed that we're on the right train. But it's about a 2-hour train journey, so I'm just going to watch a film and then we'll be in Jönköping. I'm nervous, but excited, but nervous. Hello. Hey. How are you? Mate. How you doing? Fine. I'm not off the right one. So now, how do you pronounce this place? Jönköping? Jönköping? Yes. Okay, we are in this county now, and they don't want to be on camera, but it's fine. But I'm with my cousins now, and this hotel is the hotel my granddad worked in alongside my nan when they got married. They moved over here and they got a job in this hotel. I should imagine it's changed quite a lot since the 70s. Yeah. Now come to this little neighbourhood, and them windows up there, 17D, is where my great-grandparents lived and where my granddad grew up. And this was all like a big courtyard, and over there used to be like a garage mechanics where my granddad had a separate garage there where he'd work on his motorbikes, because he was quite, was he famous in Speedway, or just quite big in Sweden?
I don't know. I don't think so.
He's just quite big in Sweden. Yeah, he was quite a big Speedway racer. Speedway racer in Sweden, so he worked on his bikes here as well when he was younger. Now I'm walking in his footsteps. Just at the cemetery. I'm not filming the headstone, be more respectful, but here is where my great-granddad is buried. Not my great-grandmother isn't buried here, and we're not sure about my granddad because in the 80s they changed all the paper, like all the records from paper to computer, and we think there may have been a number mix-up with his security number, I think. And no, everyone's looked for where his potential grave is, and there's just nothing whatsoever, so I think his grave may be lost forever. But seen the great-grandfather's grave, which he has 3 other siblings buried there as well, and possibly my granddad, but we don't know for certain. We've had no luck, but there is another headstone here for my great-granddad's brother and his family here. And we've come to a conclusion that he was possibly cremated and his ashes were either spread here or the other cemetery where the family headstone is. But I think his whereabouts will forever be a mystery. But yeah, I think well, what we think is that when they changed everything from paper to computer, they messed up his social security number and it may be forever lost. But yeah, we think either this cemetery or the other cemetery we went to earlier is where his ashes were spread and where his final resting place is. So one of these two, I'd like to think. But yeah, I think this video is going to be very itty bitty and straight to the points. But yeah, are we going to Vano now?
Yep.
Heading to Vano now, where I'm staying for the night and where I'm meeting the rest of the family. So, which is it Barbara, your mum?
Yeah, Barbara's my
She
mum.
has photos of my nan.
Yep.
Which, yeah.
I picked everything from.
That's crazy. That's one of the things that blew my mind is when we was discussing information and sending photos. Your mum went through her photo albums and sent me a picture saying, "Is this your nan?" And when was it? Like 1968, I think. Yeah. So she has photos of my nan in a photo album from 1968, which at the time blew my mind. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. It's raining again. Yeah, we're in Vano now. I got the nod of approval. Yes. We're just chilling for a couple of hours, but now we're going to your grandmother's house for some dinner and to meet the rest of my new family. But I don't know, we'll see. Good morning. Starting the day by this little beautiful river. But yeah, I didn't record anything last night because I was meeting some family. We was just talking. I think there was about 13 of us. And yeah, I didn't really want to. I wanted to spend time with them, and it's not really fair if I start talking to a camera and all of this. But we are going back to Barbro's this morning for breakfast, where I will show you the photos of my nan. And yeah, obviously the main topic of conversation was my granddad. More specifically, his whereabouts, because there just seems to be no trace about where he was laid to rest. Like I said earlier, we think he was either in one of the two cemeteries where there's a Hellstrand headstone. We think maybe definitely one of them two cemeteries, but we can't be sure. So we're not giving up. We do have a plan. We are going to contact the hospital at some point, not this weekend, I don't think, but at some point, and basically explain that this whole story, you know, like I'm his grandson, somehow try and prove that I'm his grandson and all of that, and see if we can gain access to a death certificate. Because it's weird, you know, they can still trace and access people from 300-400 years ago, but they can't find a guy from 70-80 years ago. So we think they messed up his social security number slightly when they went from manual to digital. But yeah, it's a mystery, and I don't think it may forever be a mystery, but at the same time, that's okay with me. I've discovered who my real granddad is. I've discovered the fact that I've got extended family in Sweden, which 2 years ago, I never knew these guys existed. They never knew I existed. So it's all very exciting to have such extended family from my granddad's side. And yeah, as I said, none of us even knew 2 years ago. But yeah, last night was really good. Everyone was so welcoming and really beautiful hospitality and food, and we had some drinks. But yeah, we're going to go back to Barbro's for breakfast, and hopefully I shall show you the photos of my nan that they possess. And then later on today, me and Hampus are probably going to go play some disc golf before heading back to Gothenburg, but we're also going to a speedway course. I'll explain a little bit more about this specific speedway course when we get there, but my granddad was a very big speedway racer, and his trainer, I can't remember the trainer's name, but the trainer was four times world champion for speedway or something, and my granddad was being trained by him, and my granddad got really good at speedway, and we're going to go to a speedway course a bit later on. And as I say, I will explain more about this speedway course because I think it's very exciting. I do apologize if this video is very itty bitty, jumping in between quick fire kind of thing. Obviously all this is new for me, but also new for them. I don't really want to be sticking a camera in my face talking when I want to get to know and spend time with my new family as well. So I hope you can understand that, but at the same time, I hope you're enjoying this little discovery of my heritage. So, the moment you probably haven't been waiting for, but I have the photos of my nan. So this lady in the middle was my nan, and then also this woman here. And these photos were printed in December 1966. So these photos were probably taken beforehand. Not entirely sure the date, but they were printed in December 66. And it's still just absolutely mind-blowing how 2 years ago no one ever knew each other existed, and yet at the time it was just some random Swedish family who had photos of my nan, but obviously now we're all related, which is just incredible. Like, never knew the whole time that I have a whole new family in Sweden. And right here is kind of like, not like a family tree, but like a written out thing. So Hampus's granddad Ingemar, his dad was my granddad's cousin. So it's a little bit complicated, and we don't really know. Basically, we're just saying we're cousins. We're related, and somewhere down the line, we're some form of cousins. So we're just going to go with cousins because it's the easiest thing to say. But yeah, it's just incredible how I have photos of my nan in Sweden. Yeah, so right now I'm going to pack all my stuff up, and then we're going to go and play some frisbee golf. I've never done that before, so we'll see how we get on with that. And then we are going to this Speedway course, which my grandfather was heavily involved with. Again, I will say more on the matter when we get there. And then after the Speedway course, we are going to head back to Gothenburg and then sadly say our goodbyes. But first up, we're going to go get some snacks and then head to the frisbee golf course. Let's go. So we're at the disc golf course, and if you don't know what disc golf is, you kind of have like these frisbees and you have to throw them into the baskets. I've never done it before, but you have like these squares that you have to stand on, and you have to stand on this square and try and throw it into the basket, but I can't even see the basket from here, so this is going to be interesting. Never done anything like this before. Oh, he's going up first. Dude, that was closest to the other basket. Right, let's see how this goes. I don't know what. Let's go this way. So a second attempt landed there, and that's the basket we need to get it in. So let's see. From here, yeah. Right, there's. I'll get it in this one. I'll probably miss. I'm like the king of missing. Yes! We'd done it. 4 throws and it was in. On to the next course. Yes. Woo! Oh, that was a quick game of disc golf. My first time ever playing disc golf. It was fun. I don't think I'd done too badly. So yeah, very fun. And now I'm excited for this next bit. We are going to go to the Speedway course, which I was telling you about earlier. So that is what we are doing. And that is, I think, the last stop of my little history path-finding adventure. So let's go to the Speedway course. Standing outside the Speedway course. It is shut, but anyway, let me explain. So my granddad was a speedway racer, and his trainer was a guy called Ove Fundin, who was a 4 times world champion in speedway. So pretty big stuff. And this speedway course, the Småland Legionen, is the club that my granddad founded. I say founded, this club was under a different name, and then in 1960s the club was about to go under due to finances and other things, and my granddad took over the club and completely rebranded it to the Smallland Leisure, and he took the name from another speedway company, Speedway Club in the UK, called the Wembley Lions, which they went under in 1960. So the Smallland Leisure is a name that my granddad created, and this club, you say, is one of the best clubs in Europe. This club is one of the best clubs in Europe for Speedway, and it was all created by my grandfather. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I'd love to have someone in here. Maybe there's someone in the elderly generation who maybe knew him, because it was only 40, 50 years ago. So it's a shame that there's no one around, but one of the best clubs in Europe was founded by my grandfather, which is pretty cool. It's also quite surreal that I am here and I'm walking the steps that he would have walked when he used to do Speedway. But yeah, we'll come back one day, maybe try and get in contact with someone from the club, see if they know anyone who knows or knew of my granddad. But yeah, it's quite surreal to be at the Speedway Club that he created. Right, I think that is the end of my little ancestry research, documentary, discovery, whatever you want to call it. I think that's the end of it. We are going to head back to Gothenburg now. But it's been absolutely incredible walking the footsteps of where my granddad walked and seeing where he grew up and where he worked, and also visiting the family gravestones and paying respects as such. And it is very windy, but yeah, this is a little bit different from my normal travel videos, but this has kind of been over a year in the making, I think, and it's quite unreal the fact that I'm here and I've seen everything, walked the footsteps that my granddad walked and all of that malarkey. But yeah, so I think that is the end of this heritage documentary. So it's a little bit out of the ordinary, but if you did enjoy this, then be sure to give it a little thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.